Hello everybody, good morning. Wow, what a move. What an absolute move. We were looking at the dominance chart only just yesterday, weren't we? We bounced perfectly from this area. I thought this was a bit of a no man's land, really. I thought if we were going to find a bounce, it would be from down here. Wow. Looks like things are changing over here. Looks like Bitcoin has become something completely new, which is a powerhouse. But we shouldn't get too complacent. But I mean, just looking at the chart here, we had that resistance trend line, didn't we? And we just smashed right through it. Absolute powerhouse of a move. Obviously, Ethereum is still okay. Slow and steady wins the race. But geez, that's like a 10, almost, well, it's basically a 10% move that's taken place over the last 24 hours. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. So let's have a look at the weekly money flow index to see what's been going on now. So yeah, we're broken out of that trend line as well. And also there is still a little bit of bearish divergence on this RSI, but I don't think it really cares about that anymore. So really, we are moving very steadily and almost absolutely towards the top area here, towards 60,000, just short of 60,000, around the $59,000 zone, before any real chance of a possible top. And I think given the size of this move right now and the strength, and obviously the sentiment that's going to follow this, and possibly even the retail, which will start to recognize this, will cause the obvious effect, which is that people will pour their money into it. Because I don't think that the retail is in on this right now. And by that I mean, the everyday Joe. First of all, obviously, by doing this YouTube channel, excuse me, and obviously having my Telegram, I do have a bit of an idea about who is doing what and where. And at market peaks, even within the cycles, we have like times where I can see the YouTube views are up, people are joining the Telegram, and I get to see what sentiment looks like through engagement, and it's still relatively low, I have to say, compared to prior cycles. And I can tell you why. Is obviously people have a lot less money now, given the inflation and the cost of living. People just don't have any disposable income to put into crypto as much as they'd like to. But then second to that, it's gone completely under the radar for the most part, and Bitcoin is soon to be presented to the world once again as, Bitcoin returning to its former glory. It's hit its all-time high again. You know what's coming next. The last time it hit 20,000, it went to 70,000. And then Captain Noobmaster empties his pockets and goes, well, I don't have much left, I'm afraid. I got wiped out on the last one. But I'll tell you what, as we are approaching or passing the last all-time high, I think it's time for me to get wrecked. Well, that's just an anecdote, really. I'm not suggesting that's what's going to happen, but if you're watching my channel and you've been watching this channel since throughout, and you trade markets or you're interested in markets, then obviously you've got a handle on what's going on to an extent. No one really has a proper handle on it, but you've been through the thick and thin. The majority of people aren't able to buy low. They don't do it because they can't. And I have this conversation with people all the time, and it's not their fault. Markets are counterintuitive, obviously, and this is the nature of a market for the most part. But I was having a conversation with somebody I knew who was quite an intelligent guy, and he was saying, even I think it was around these areas, he's saying, "Where's all the crypto bros gone, man? Completely wrecked, I think." I had to interject, and I said, "Well, probably, but now would be an okay time to buy because it's hard for people to understand." That things go up when they've only been going down, just as it's hard for people to understand that things will go down when they're going up. Most people, and it's not anyone's fault, if anything, it's human nature, can't see more than what's in front of them. So at the moment, what people are seeing and what people will see is green, green, green. I should have bought here. I should have bought here. If I bought here, I could have bought here. Could have bought here. All they need is someone out there with a voice that they can relate to or perhaps maybe trust to say that actually Bitcoin's going to keep going up for them to enter into it. and not just Bitcoin, but crypto as a whole. And then they will enter. Again, entering into green candles is FOMO, but that's I think what's going to start to happen. So we haven't really seen retail enter the market, en masse for a variety of reasons. Fear being one of them, and then probably more than anything, they just don't have the capacity. They've got no money, because people don't have any money anymore. So, but I believe that it's around about these times where people will start to empty their pockets, whatever they've got, to get in on it. And that will be spread across all of crypto, I would imagine, when retail comes in, because they will want the altcoins because they might believe quite strongly that they've missed the Bitcoin move, and they will enter into all the other stuff that not necessarily hasn't moved, but gives a false impression of a low price because their value against Bitcoin is minuscule, So I actually think that we're going to see continuation, obviously on Bitcoin, but across the market at this point now. Bitcoin has proven to be stronger than, I'd probably say stronger than ever before, really. It might not be as parabolic as this period. It's getting close to it, though, but it has been more sustained. Because remember, the bull market began roughly around these lows, were confirmed once reclaiming and retesting the 20 weekly. The last time we had a bull market beginning, it blew its top off and consolidated. So it really only went up for about 6 months and then consolidated for another 6 months, but basically went sideways for a year. This time, it's basically just been going up since November 2022. So it's been going up for an 18-month period, effectively without any real consolidation. So it is actually different, I have to say. We have to respect the fact that it's different. And if it's different, we should expect something different as well. Now, I'm still in line with my original analysis, which is that a consolidation is going to come for all markets. And, if that consolidation, when it comes, because I believe it will come, happens, it might be a bit of a sharper drop than I initially anticipated, rather than a nice, long, drawn-out consolidation. And we might be looking for a dumperoo at this point, because we will be getting close to what I would consider to be a bubble pop kind of vibe. But I can't call it at that point right now. I'm not going to say that that's exactly what's going to happen. We still always need to be careful. But what I'm trying to put across is, it is definitely different. Rather than shooting up over a 6-month period and then consolidating over another 6, this has been going up slow and steady for 18 months, basically, without much respite at all. And there's an incredible and an enormous amount of funds being poured into it, and none of it has yet come from the retail market. And the retail market, people like you and me, and all the other noob masters, that's where the blow off top starts to present itself, and that's where the big boys cash in, because they take your money, my money, everybody's money. It's a good try and think like them in a way, and I don't see that the retail have really gone mad at this point now. They're just not here. So with that, I still think there's more to come. We might even see new all-time highs on Bitcoin way before we should have expected it. But again, we'll just take it level by level, bit by bit. And there's not much more to say than that. But I would be looking for we're already at a resistance now, to be honest with you, the $56,000 zone. But I think 58 to 60 is where we're headed. And you break that, we're going to keep going on. So there's no point in trying to get too clever on Bitcoin at the moment. This is why I always say the hodlers often win. I've got a handful of Bitcoins in my ledger. Just happily just going to sit them there. There's no point in getting clever with those. They are hodl bags. Same with my Ethereum. And like you said, I am 30% in the market in my trading accounts, still 70% in cash. I will start to top up on altcoins when we start to see a potential rotation, which I thought we were starting to see yesterday. We are not at the moment. We might begin to see it from this level, around 53.6% dominance. But I wouldn't hold out for it because, again, descending triangles, with a pump signal on top, with a trend that's so strong, does suggest breakout similar to this one. So if that is the case, we might be looking for a breakout on the dominance chart now, rather than the breakdown that we saw yesterday. This market is changing very quickly, very fast. So if we do move up on the dominance chart, I will start to rotate more into altcoins around 57.4 percent dominance. That would be the plan. That would be a decent plan because we've basically seen some decent reactions from here. Big move up, and part of the breakdown here. So that would be an okay place to start to move some of the precious Bitcoin into altcoins. But until then, Bitcoin is king. Allow the king to rise. It's doing its thing. There's nothing that can be done to stop it. The money is pouring in thick and fast in Bitcoin, and we just have to accept that Bitcoin will be the master until further notice. There's all this talk of ETFs for Ethereum. Well, it's just talk and rumours. You know, Bitcoin's spot ETF had been declined many times in the past. I don't really see why we should put too much weight on the idea that Ethereum's going to get an ETF straight away. It might not, it may do, I don't know. But even whatever it does, it's likely to cause a consolidation on it, or at least a drop in price, similar to the ETF for Bitcoin. So let's just remember all of this. It's not an immediate thing, and it doesn't seem to be causing Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin to any real extent. And until we start to see that, we can't really get super bullish on altcoins again. Bitcoin is now seeing, if anything, the rotation back from altcoins into Bitcoin. But the market generally moves as one. So we should just sit back and let the market move together. Let's have a quick look at the total 2. Well, this is good. This definitely is good. So total 2 has broken above the major resistance, which gives us the next target of 1.119 trillion. So actually that's a decent move pending there. And so altcoins do look like they have further to run, 16% to be precise. That will be the next major target. So altcoins have surpassed my personal targets, but we are looking good on the total 2. Let's have a look at the total 3, and then we'll leave it there because we are doing a Patreon live stream tonight. So let's have a look at that. Total 3, still looking to approach its 630 billion resistance. So yeah, there's more to go on altcoins. Definitely is more to go on altcoins, just as there is more to go on Bitcoin. But let's be realistic and let's just be cautious. If you're over trading this market, just be careful. You do not want to get stuck in from new positions at high levels. You know, obviously everyone has their own capacity to trade, and I hope that you have a strategy of your own that you're employing, and you're not just buying blindly at any level, at any price, in the hope that it goes up. You know, there is method to trading by buying supports and selling resistances. That is how we trade. That's what you're supposed to do. FOMOing in is the opposite of that. You're buying high in the hope for higher, but you most likely will see pullbacks before that, and you scare yourself out of positions. So try not to do anything like that. If anything, what I would suggest is try to understand at least the very basics of trading. Right? There's a variety. There's so many different ways to trade. You know, whether you're doing Elliott waves or fib circles or momentum trading, which is what I do, but try and get your head around something and apply some strategy to what it is you're doing. Because otherwise what you're doing is kind of buying blindly, and that's not what you want to do. And I think that's still what's happening with Bitcoin, really. I think Bitcoin's being bought blindly, which is fine. It's fine because, again, there's power in numbers, and the numbers just keep going up. But you know, when you buy blindly, you know, you do open yourself up to some serious problems. Now, you know, I'm bullish across the board for the market just on the long term anyway. But as we approach a new all-time high for Bitcoin, I am a little skeptical about what's going to happen next. And you know, I just want to put it across to you that you know, it's hard for people to imagine what downside will look like for Bitcoin when it's been going up like this for such a long time. It's just hard to imagine. Just like my friend, you know, my intelligent friend found it hard to imagine that crypto was ever going to go back up again as it kept on going down. So just remember that, right? You know, we are humans. We're not like basic animals anymore. We have the power of imagination. That's how we've got to where we are in the world today. And if you were able to try and think ahead of what it is that you're seeing today, then that's basically effectively a superpower, isn't it? That's what separates us from the animal kingdom. We can, to an extent, imagine, not so much predict, but imagine what the future will be. If you're unable to do that, then basically you are a, what are they? I think even the Homo erectus could imagine the future. You're basically a basic ape, that's what you are. And apes, by the nature of it, FOMO in. They are apes. They ape into a coin. They ape into a chart. Now, we are slightly more evolved than that. We do have the capacity to imagine what this is going to look like in 6 months, which I think is going to be going down. But the problem that even I have as, a Homo sapien is that I don't know where it's going to top out at. I have no idea, but trying to imagine that it will top out means that it will consolidate and come down. So just be careful. If you're going to enter into anything, make sure that you're applying some strategy to it. And don't FOMO or ape in, because you're better than that. We've had a few million years of evolution. We don't need to behave that way anymore. Right, bit of a rambling video, but it does line up the entire market with potential setups across the board. But it does make it a little spookier because we have seen something like this before when Bitcoin was rallying. It rallied 300% over here, and altcoins were not having a good time. And then altcoins really did kick into, they got fashionable again, and had a great alt season that lasted about 3 or 4 months. In the form of rotation, because Bitcoin had consolidated 30% over here, while altcoins were going up hundreds of percent. So maybe we see something like that. Maybe we see something like that. But until it's established, and again, I would be looking for a similar kind of vibe on the dominance chart for a major rejection to see something like that. The last time we saw that was a huge double top over here. That's where the alt season kicked in. You can see it blinding on the chart, really. We don't really have that kind of vibe at the moment. But if we are going to get a rejection, I'd be looking from a rejection from a major level. And this seems unrealistic to expect that Bitcoin dominance will hit these levels again. But here, absolutely, definitely could see that. And even up here, around the 63.5% dominance. Right, a long rambling video, like I said. I've got to go because as much as I have recovered now, more or less, from my cold, my 4-year-old has got the cold. So she's downstairs watching Gladiators at the moment while I spit this video out. But otherwise, hopefully I'll see you on the Patreon live stream tonight. Links in the description below. And until then, though, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.